Hello all, and welcome to tonight's review. One of the latest I've been recording. One of the latest I've recorded since, I don't know, since I've started not working overnight, thank God. But this is a very special review because it is a review of one of the most expensive things that I have ever reviewed on this channel, which is quite significant considering how poor I am. And what is that I am reviewing tonight? And that is Janneau Armangnac XO. Now, let's read the back here. There's quite a bit printed on the back in French and English. Since 1851, Janneau has been recognized as one of the world's finest Armagnac producers. This reputation has been built upon the unique and sophisticated style of our Armagnacs and the care that goes into every bottle. In other words, no quality compromise. White grapes sourced from the finest AOC vineyards of Bas-Armagnac and Tenares. And I believe, let me see here, I have a webpage open for just for reference here. And those grapes are Baco and Ugni Blanc, so two white wine grapes. Two distilling techniques. The double distillation and the continuous distillation. The former providing fruit and depth, the latter finesse and softness. So the ratio here is 80% single pot to 20% columnar still. Only French oak casks from the neighboring forests of Montezun, wait, is that a T? Yeah. No, Montlezun and Limousin, where Armagnac slowly developed their characteristic golden color and unique mellow flavors for which Janneau is famous. The cellar master's rigorous selection of old eau de vie from our ancient cellars in Gascony to give each style of Janneau its unique personality. Janneau XO is a blend of old Armagnacs, some of which have been aging up to 30 years in ancient oak casks. With a floral nose and rich aromas of roasted nuts, XO is a complex combination of both single and double distilled eau de vie, well suited to the more discerning palate. So, Maison Janneau, Condom, France. 40% ABV. So, as it mentioned, this is a blend. Various Armagnacs aged between 12 and 30 years. And it certainly looks it, quite dark. So why did I go and pick this? Well, because I have Janneau VS, the youngest and most affordable expression of the Janneau line. And I wanted to compare it to basically the most prestige. Well, I don't think this is actually the most prestige. I think there's actually some limited releases that they've done that are, a bit more prestigious, also well aged. But this is their oldest and most grand mass market, Armagnac. Why do I choose an Armagnacs? Well, because Armagnacs are comparatively cheap compared to cognacs. Cognacs, the VSs run about $40, but the XOs basically run to about $150. This is between $60 and $70. So it's about half the price of the same age, same quality cognac. Of course, the taste profile is going to be completely different due to different grapes, different terroir, different styles of distillation, different aging, different ways of blending. So, it's not an apples to apples comparison, or even an apples to pears comparison. This is an apple to oranges or apple to bananas comparison. So, without further ado, let's get to tasting this. Of course, I don't have a brandy glass, so we're doing it in our Glencairn. Again, if somebody has an objection to it, well, they can go and buy me a brandy glass. Very aromatic. As soon as you open the bottle, floral smells emerge. Nice, deep amber yellow. Maybe more towards amber red or amber orange. With exceedingly thick legging. It just stays and stays and holds on there. You see it? Of course, when I want it to actually go close, it doesn't do it. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Thick. Two C's. Mmm. Honey. Florals. Like wildflowers. Juicy prunes. Sweet almond. But definitely sweet on the nose. Very prominent fruity and floral notes there, almost honeyed fruits, like aged fruits, fruits that have been concentrated. Prunes, which are dried plums, or maybe dried apricots as well. And also hints of vanilla from the oak barreling. All in all, deeply intense smell. Onto the palate, shall we? The oak barreling is very apparent in the midst to finish, with sweet golden raisins and also appearing in that long finish underneath that oakiness and vanilla. Some treacle-like notes in the front and mids. All in all, well, not much drier, but somewhat drier on the palate than in the nose. Very subdued, very refined as well. No burn or, really alcohol nature to the tasting notes. I should say fire, alcohol fire, as opposed, that say when the alcohol in there obscures the flavor, definitely does not obscure the flavor here. A lot of distinct nutty notes in that finish there. However, I can't really put my finger on like the type of nuts. It's just a sort of nuttiness that meshes well with the stone fruit at the nose. Stone fruit doesn't really show up too much in the finish, except at the very front end and at the very end of the long finish. To my palate, at least, the oak is really, really dominant. Um, Oak is really, really dominant in the mids and into the finish, with sort of the rest of the flavors being exiled to the fringes, as it were. There's also some spice notes in the front. Nutmeg, unsurprisingly. So basically, it kind of goes from a transition of sweet stone fruits, touches of honey. There's immediately, sort of transitions into nuttiness, including nutmeg and some various other spices. Then big oak, big vanilla, all the way to the end, where fruitiness starts to emerge again. Much of the complexity in this is sort of embodied by drinking this with your nose open. While it's in your mouth, having it go and retro exhale out the back of your nose, not the actual fluid, but the air in your mouth cavity going out through your nose, and just kind of seeing the nice contrast there. Yeah. What else is there? Not as smooth as some distilled liquors that I've had, but then I find brandy has a little bit more of an edge than brandies, things distilled from grapes, have a little bit more of an edge to it than, say, other things. And that's perfectly fine. Still, nicely smooth. So, is this a good thing to drink? Well, I honestly think, yeah, this is pretty good. If you're in the world of, Armagnacs, this is definitely one to go and visit. It's somewhat atypical of Armagnacs, in that, it's not primarily column distilled. But, you know, as it says on here, it has won multiple prizes. It is fairly affordable and obtainable. I believe Janneau is the only Armangnac I'm seeing sold in Hawaii, though I'm not going to some of the specialty shops, so there might be a couple more, but I doubt there's all that many. So yeah, it's interesting. It's not quite my cup of tea, and I'm going to actually explore more of that, the reasoning behind that with the upcoming review. It's not going to be the next review that I do, but probably the one after that, because I want to go and review a beer next. You know me. I like to go and keep it up, keep mixing things up. And, I'm going to go and explain a little bit more of that reasoning with, a comparison review between the two different Janneaus that I have available for me. And it'll be illuminating, and I'm not going to say that it's like some sort of objective thing. I think it's completely subjective on my part, but I think even if you disagree with me, I think it's a thought to entertain for a while. In that, even if you disagree with me, it's like a matter of perspective in tasting. But I'm kind of going a little bit too much into that. I'm already past 15 minutes. Trying not to go and make my reviews too long, because apparently most of you guys are only watching maybe about 25% of it. So yeah, give this one a shot. It's very rare that you're going to find an XO brandy under $100. Well, yeah. Or find an XO Armagnac, period, at least here in Hawaii. So give it a shot. It's available at Tamura's. That is your beer review. Sorry. Yeah, it's already kicking me in the brain here a little bit. That is your Armagnac review for this evening. Salute.